Hey guys, just finished watching Gotham, Season 4, Episode 17, A Dark Knight Mandatory Brunch Meeting. This episode was really interesting, was really cool. It was a really good episode. And you give this episode definitely like an 8.5 out of 10. It was a really good episode. So we start off here, we see Bruce going to this school. He got that note from Jerome was looking for someone, and he knows where he's going. He got that from last week's episode. And he gets there, and there's the Mad Hatter was already there, left someone there with a suicide bomb on them. Although it was kind of weird if that was left there. Was it left there to kill Bruce because he had like one of one of the principals or the principal of the school. Someone had a bomb on him, suicide vest, and he was hypnotized into killing himself. But if Mad Hatter wanted him, was it to kill Bruce or was it to slow him down? What was the whole idea of it? Because we never really see whether or not how Bruce is, and Bruce is fine after the explosion. We don't even see the aftermath of the explosion. How much was he hurt? Did he have anything? Was he hurt at all? Was there any shrapnel from that huge wood desk that was blown up? You think that thing would kind of splinter and there'd be pieces flying from the explosion, and they would kind of impale, Bruce, Jim, Bullock, one of those guys. But there was really nothing to it, so it was kind of weird. Did they just use a small one just to scare them, just to injure them, just to slow them down? What was the whole point of all that? I don't really get that, so that was kind of interesting with that. And then we get the Jerome has like all the comic book villains really from the show, the ones that are super duper comic book. A lot of these characters are all from the comics and stuff, but those true super villainies, true original classic Batman characters are all at this table, and it is really cool. It almost reminds me of the Batman '66 Adam West the Batman movie type thing, where you had all the villains kind of teaming up together. You had Joker, you had Riddler, you had Catwoman, you had Mr. Freeze wasn't in that, although back in that show he would have been called. Actually, no, he got his name Mr. Freeze from the Batman '66 show. Originally in the comic books, he had appeared before the Batman '66, but he was only called Mr. Zero, and only until Batman '66, the Adam West show, they gave him the name Mr. Freeze, and the rest is history since then. So that was pretty cool there, seeing all of them together and seeing that they're all kind of teaming up now as time goes on. I think I really like this kind of team up and this stuff. We're kind of we're a long way away from the season 1 where it was just kind of gangsters and stuff, and it wasn't, it was just kind of mobsters and gangs and stuff. Now we're really into the comic book and into the nitty gritty of it, and I really love it, the way we've come into this stuff. So this is really a great storyline. I can't wait for this. Hopefully this stays throughout. It's disappointing though we didn't get anything in this episode about Barbara Keene and what she's doing with the League of Shadows, or the 5 women that we only had of League of Shadows, which bothered me in last week's episode. But I'm going to try not to get into that too much, because I just end up ranting too long. But we find out that Jerome is after Alexander Wilde, and then we find out that the Riddler is taking over the Narrows. He's taken over from Lee, and he's playing he has like a show put on for them, and then Lee ends up challenging him to the riddle challenge that he has, and then we find out that as Jerome's looking for Alexander, we find out that the proxy, the proxy that he found ends up knocking him out and taking him to Alexander, or Xander. Then we find out then we see Penguin finds Butch, and he tries to recruit him, but Butch doesn't want anything to do with him. Of course he doesn't. And then Jerome wakes in a cell, and Xander is revealed to be, when Jim Gordon and Bullock get there, that he's Jerome's twin brother, and that was interesting. I saw rumors of that there was some sort of rumor, twin brother idea, so I think that's really going to be cool to see. There is that photo that's floating around with him with a big hat, I guess I'll try not to put it in here, I guess, if it's spoilers or stuff, but it's an interesting idea. It just reminds me of the Jack Nicholson Joker from the Batman 89 movie. So I think that's really going to be cool to play with that, to see if he ultimately also becomes evil. I doubt they're going to do that, because it's very different from the story. I think it's going to be cool to see where things go with this, and see where things kind of continue on. It's going to be quite fun to see how this turns out. I think part of me wants it to turn evil, but at the same time don't want it to turn evil, because I like the idea of putting them towards each other. But at the same time, is he eventually just going to kill is Jerome eventually just going to kill him? I mean, it's going to be cool to see where things going with that. And I'd hope to see these two characters, Jerome at least, staying around permanently on the show. I know he's also busy doing the Shameless show that Cameron Monaghan is also on the Shameless show. And I'm kind of hoping that show would just end so that he could become full-time here, or whatever, kill him off on that show so he could stay full-time here, because he's just so great on here. And I've watched a little bit of the Shameless show and him on there, and yeah, he's good on there too, but it's like nothing compared to him on here. This show has so much meat in it for him to sink his teeth in, and so much stuff he can do, and it's just amazing what he's able to do here as the Joker, and it's just so cool to see him, and it does not even compete to anything else I've ever seen of the actor. So finally, he's his twin, and then we also find out that, which we knew, but Jim finds out that Xander has Jerome captive in a cell. Jerome gets out when the Mad Hatter and Scarecrow come to free Joker, and they find that Xander has a place. It's all like a huge maze that he's had, really super complicated maze, and that was a really cool idea. It was really fun playing with that. And then we get back to Riddler and the battle, and Lee ends up winning the battle because he won't say that, even though he knows the riddle, he won't say it, type thing, at least not to her. And then Penguin kind of ends up winning over Butch by promising to find Strange when they take over the city. I think that's really going to be cool to see how long some of those characters stay around. Hopefully Jerome obviously stays around. I don't know if I want to see him, kind of go back to Arkham, and that's how he gets to step around. But we'll have to wait and see how long we get to see him. Do we have Jerome for the rest of the season now? How does that work? And how is he able to be here so much and filming his other show, or is he done on the other show? Hopefully he is, because it would be awesome to see Jerome become a full-time member and constantly be in the show. So they do that. It's really going to be fun to see, and I like the idea of Penguin and Grundy working together, but the idea of Strange and being able to fix him, I think that it could be an idea and a good carrot for the stick, a carrot on the stick type thing to get Butch to kind of to work with Penguin and get that relationship back together. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I really don't want him to lose, to just be reverted back to Butch, because otherwise it was just kind of like, it was just a waste. The whole thing's a waste. But if you keep him like this, where he's a bit smart, still has the strength, still looks like Grundy, and then the relationship between him and Tabitha not caring how he looks, I think that would definitely be an interesting idea to see how that plays along. And then if he's not able to change himself, but he's still able to have a relationship with Tabitha, how does that play on? How does their relationship between Butch and Tabitha affect Barbara and Penguin? How does that relationship work? And then having the League of Assassins women involved, that'll be interesting to see that too. Then we find out that we see that Lee actually has been saying throughout since she beat our Riddler, is that she tells Nigma that he loves her, and he's like, yes, I do, but that's not me. It's not the Riddler. It's Nigma inside who does. And then she kisses him. So it's unclear if she's in love with him. It kind of feels like she's not. She feels like she's actually playing him, but he's clearly, the Riddler's smart enough to see that. So that's going to be cool to see how that plays on. Is she actually falling for him? How far is she willing to take it? And I think that's really going to be interesting to see how their relationship plays on with it. Because at first I found this story, and the Riddler was it was interesting. It was okay. It was well done, but I just found it like, okay, why are you wasting my time with this storyline? It's a good storyline. It's a fun storyline. But in comparison to this Jerome storyline and this Xander storyline and Bruce Wayne and Jim Gordon and all that stuff, I don't care about it. I really want to see this thing, and why not just have the one storyline throughout the whole episode, and just have Jerome the whole time, and then ignore Riddler and have them not in the episode. But then they went and they did this love thing, and I think that was an interesting idea. I just don't know if I would have put this love storyline between, and this reveal and her kissing him and all that stuff in this episode. I would have liked to have seen this episode be fully Jerome and his twin brother, and dealing with just that, and then having Lee and her, how that be a second storyline, a backup storyline in another episode. I feel like there could have been other episodes that they were doing before where they could have done that, rather than splitting the time here. But it wasn't that much too much the way they did it, so it was nice the way it worked out. And then at the end we get the all the villains, I guess the brunch dinner meeting villains, all together, and they're working on a new lab, and they were working on a new serum, a new fear toxin, which is the Joker gas, which makes people kind of laugh and it's a laughing Joker's killer laughing gas type thing. And I think that's really going to be cool to see how that plays off, and I think I really can't wait to see that and how that kind of evolves and stuff. And I was thinking about this throughout this episode, and about we talked a lot about Jerome's family and all that stuff, and I really think it would be cool to see Mark Hamill jumping on this show, now that he's with, if you've seen Last Jedi, that he's going to be available. He'd be a bit more available now to do stuff, unless they keep bringing him back as Force Ghost and stuff. But having him on the show, whether he plays, he definitely needs to play, if Mark Hamill would be on here, who would need to play one of the family members of Jerome, someone related to Jerome, maybe another uncle or a grandfather, or a father. I think if it's unclear who his actual father is, someone who's connected to him, I think that could be cool. Or it could just be someone related to him, so it could be like him, so that obviously Mark Hamill could use his Joker laugh, and that could be cool to see the two of them laughing with Mark Hamill using his Joker laugh. And I think that could be a really cool idea, and I think it would be really fun to see him, and not making Mark Hamill the Joker, but just kind of making Mark Hamill another kind of sadistic person type thing. I think it could be cool to see that, or even just make him some random person who gets affected by the Joker gas, and it doesn't kill him for some reason, it just kind of awakens him type thing. I think that could be a cool idea to playing with that. But I think it would be really cool to see Mark Hamill dressed up, kind of like there was that picture of him, was it Earth 2 version of Trickster, for Jay Garrick, in an episode where Jay Garrick, he was only in it for like a scene, last season, and it was only a very quick scene where he was there, and I think it was a Jay Garrick just came around and zipped him up, and he was gone, but he had makeup on, he looked, and there were set photos that came out, and it looked like, oh my god, it's just a Joker version of the Trickster. What is this? It definitely is on the Flash set. What is it? And I think a version like that could be really cool, putting Mark Hamill in some sort of Joker makeup, and him kind of following the Joker around could be cool. Jerome around could be quite interesting to do that. And since he's available, I think if he's not working as much, unless based on the tweets and stuff, unless he's going to be in Guardians 3, then but I'm not sure if that's going to be filming anytime soon. It would definitely be cool to see him jumping on the show and becoming somewhat of a related character to Jerome, and I think it could be cool to see them. And I would love to see the two of them and laughing together type thing. I think that'd be a great thing to see. So all in all, I think this episode was an interesting episode. It was a great episode. I love the Jerome character. I really hope that he could become on here full time. I really hoping that his other show would just kind of stop so that he could just be full time in here, because that other show, it may be good, it may be winning all kinds of awards and all that stuff, but it's just, to me, it just seems, looking onto it, I could only imagine that it looks like Gotham would be way more fun to film than just a regular drama, normal drama type thing. Whereas Gotham, there's so much meat for him to sink his teeth into the role rather than a different character. So all in all, I think this is a great show. Like I'm saying, I just can't wait. I'm hoping that Jerome can become full time for next season, and I'm not sure yet if we've been confirmed for season 5 just yet, but we'll have to wait and see if we get some confirmations coming soon. So let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below. Season 4, episode 17, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes this is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?